Hello and welcome to another My Little Podcast. We are here today to talk a little bit about reciprocal roofs and put a little small-scale model together.
Woo! A model. Aren't we fancy?
Here we go.
Yes.
That's week. I think it to show how they.
Did you bring felt? You gotta have felt in arts and crafts.
I don't think we have any felt.
Or
No
fake
felt.
hair.
We have felt this already. Okay, Dad. So
Okay.
what do we got here?
Okay. Well, first of all, let's take a look at what we've already done. We did the Muse Art Studio with the reciprocal roof. First one I had ever built. So I know we had this idea of putting a reciprocal roof in, which you see from the diagram that's playing now. That it's basically kind of an octagon in the middle, and we attach our main rafters to it, and it sets on a circle, and it supports itself. It's pretty cool. There it is being constructed. We're really fast when we built this.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Lightning
It was
speed.
lightning.
It was flash.
There it is,
We
all
put flash
filled
to
in.
shame.
Well, not quite all, but almost all filled in. And that's Bryson up there waiting for the aliens to reach down and grab him and take him into the sky
Wow.
on his
Okay.
fancy. Okay, but I'm winging it here, guys. And then, but you can see that it was a great project. It was a lot of fun.
It was
There's
really
an
a lot of
aerial
fun.
view. Probably one of the last ones we ever got. Until
Last, but once
Yes.
again, soon.
someday we
Soon.
will
Drum roll.
Soon
drum
we'll
roll,
have
very
that.
soon.
Soon we'll have that.
have another one. So pretty excited about this. So you guys may remember too, we put a couple videos out on it. I think there's 3 total, including the decking and the roofing and all the other stuff we put on it. So yeah, we're missing Shay tonight. She's not participating. Roofs aren't really her thing, you know. So I think she's putting makeup on her.
She likes to raise the roof, but she doesn't like to build it.
That's good. That's good. Raise the roof. Yeah.
I wanted to butt in here just really quick. I'm so sorry. We will be taking questions and comments throughout the process, having to do with the reciprocal roof as we're going through this, and then at the end, ask and comment whatever you'd like, and we'll be taking as many as we can near the end of this process as well.
Sure.
Sorry, forgot to add that.
So yeah, then you'll just do your thing over here and respond. And
I'm on the chat, so if I'm looking down, it's because that's where I'm at. So
Mom's
She's
over
not playing
there
a game.
and no,
running the OBS.
I'm winning.
Yes! Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, no, we're good. Go
going.
ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, and then Mom's over there too doing some running stuff.
She's
over
at
there,
the computer.
Yeah,
manning
She's
the
behind
station.
you.
Yeah, so
All right.
we're all on the property, just not all here. Even those of us that are online right now with you aren't really here. So.
Dun, dun,
Dun.
dun. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Well, anyway, you may
Like
remember that
quantum
in
physics.
building that first roof, being such a fun exercise, we bought some 2x4s. Remember that, Garen? What did we do with the 2x4s?
We were just building a little test model, really, just with some baling wire and a few
Chewing
other
gum
boards,
and whatever
yeah.
else we had, right?
We just wanted to kind of see how, on a small scale, the roof would hold up. You know, if we could get, what is it, like 30 feet almost
30 foot was our span.
of span. So it's like that's a huge distance to do, which is why I think we kind of ran into these roofs, is because you were looking for just different.
A free span that we didn't
Yeah.
have to post up somewhere.
So we just threw a little one together first
It
with
was-
some 2x4s.
It was amazing. I mean, I know it's in the video. It shows you kind of clunk, kind of falls down on one side. One of the 2x4s just fell over. The wire
Yeah.
kind of went
Didn't
let
it
loose.
just fold?
But it was real strong.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like when we were putting it together. Did you have? I'm going. I can't believe this is gonna work. I
No,
can't
man,
believe
it
this is
kept
gonna
falling
work.
apart all
Yeah.
weird, but as soon as we got
And
it
it did.
construction.
So it was pretty wild to actually go through that experience and have it work.
Yeah.
It was so
I mean,
cool.
just with baling wire, you could stand
Yeah.
up and down on it, or stand up and jump almost up and down on
Yeah.
it. You know, no problem.
Question?
So Stephen Council asks, how much material waste is there with a reciprocal roof versus a standard square or rectangular roof?
So much less, I would imagine.
Yeah, you know,
Well, I would think
waste
we
waste is is relative, because when you do what you don't use on the roof goes in somewhere else. You know, so a project always tends to do that, but there's probably no difference. I can cut a roof sitting on the ground and stack it, tails and everything, if it's a nice square or rectangle. But in this kind of a deal where you leave the tails long and then you have to go back around and cut the tails each individually, there may be a little more waste that way. Time too.
Yeah, I mean, if we were building a regular one, more traditional like we had on the past 3 buildings, we would still be cutting the tails afterwards.
Yeah.
So
I think it's because
probably-
Yeah, with earth bags, it's a round circle,
Yeah.
and it's all uneven, and we do our best with our fancy
yeah,
little
you
jig
can't
thingies.
cut that on the ground and then stack it,
Yeah.
right? So
Not this kind. Oh, well, you can cut probably the upper section as it fits around our octagon.
Oh, for this
The
style
top
roof, I was
part
talking
we
about
probably
for
cut
other
it back.
style roofs.
Yeah, the other style roof.
Yeah.
They're a little different. So, but that's not too much more waste. Well, anyway, we did get that 2x4 thing put together and got that all online and ready to go, and we're pretty excited. And it's like, okay, so we run down to the store and we buy our materials. And what's so funny is that we recorded that going down to the store in that movie and on the video, and I kept saying 30 feet, and Shelly kept blinking up 20 feet, 20 feet. I kept saying 30 feet, 30 feet. You know, it's so funny. It's hilarious. And then when I watched it here just the other day to kind of get ready for this, I go, gosh, what was I thinking? 30 footers, can you imagine? But yeah, well, they make them. They're just hard to get and real expensive. So tall trees. So that's kind of the deal on that. We did that test thing, and we went out and bought our material, and then we dry fitted it basically out there in the yard, didn't we?
Yeah.
And so we thought, oh, okay, I'm confident again. We could probably just take this and transfer it right in.
Yeah. Well, we kind of had to figure out our what kind of cuts we needed to make too, because they're a little different when we were just trying to work it out. In our heads. So.
We'll go into how we made some of those cuts to get the pitch and how we got our notches and those kinds of things too, because it does require that. Another thing too, remember building scaffolding? That was hilarious. I know you guys were really scared, but it was kind of fun. So we had that. We had this those were kind of the things that happened with the first building. So easy peasy. We got it up in the air, got it recorded. Now it's time to do Shays is coming out.
Still standing?
It's still standing and will stand for years and years and years and years. So we have Shays coming out. We're also going to put a reciprocal roof in hers. Hers is going to have a pretty unique style. It'll be conical in shape, so it'll be normal around 3/4 of it, and about the 3/4 edge, we're going to start running our material longer, so it kind of looks like a cone. If you know the rule of thirds and some of the other things about a perfect design, it has that shape. So the different types of shapes that you can get with a roof, though, are different. You can go with whatever sides. So, Shell, you want to pull up that cam? Table cam. Woo! Fancy now, aren't we? Okay, this right here, this is the 6-sided cam. You can build these things on the ground and then attach like we did, and I'll show you another way that folks are using with poles. But if you're using flat material like we did, we still have to have some kind of shape, I think, to make in the middle, to have that compression ring that's all set together. So here's a 6-sided, here's the 8-sided, which we used. Here's the 6-sided with bisections of each one of these. So we actually had 12 different sides there. And remember that a circle really isn't round. A circle is a series of straight lines. And in this case, we have 12. Looks pretty round, pretty cool. This may be the design I'll think about when we do Shays, because we ended up with the same amount of material this way, except for I had 8 sides, and I just bisected it to 16. And 16 is a little too many. It's too much. They're usually, these things, the poles are usually around 13 to 15, 16, somewhere in there. So if I bisect the 12 into 12, will be closer to the kind that we want to have. And also, too, it'll keep me from having to cut the tails weird. Remember how we had the tails all wonky? Here's an example of what we might do. Here's the top view looking down. This will be the compression ring that we build. And remember that we stack these things one on top of another in consecutive order. So the first one, let's pretend this is our first one. It goes up, and then it nails to the side of the compression ring. And then we put the next one on top of it, which is over here.
It's easier, too, when you're actually up there doing it, to build in... See how you got a straight one here and a straight one there? It's easier to build this one and then this one, because then that'll hold the ring up in the air while you're trying to stack the other ones on. Now, you do have to... It's kind of a... You got to pick it up and move it, pick it up and move it. But if you try and stack around, it becomes a lot more weight to move.
Mm-hmm. I think, too, a lot of times... What they'll do with the pole idea is that they'll put a post underneath there. It has some other fancy name too, some other guy came up with. But for the most part, you post up that first one, and then after you get that in the air, you can build on the rest of it. And then after you get everything stacked, you just take this one off, and everything will settle. Take the post out from it, it'll settle. But anyway, it's the idea that this here spot and this here spot on our drawing shows that this is what holds the weight for this portion of it, and then that just compounds all the way around. Pretty soon you have equal pressure on all points. And that's kind of the deal. And then when you have to make some decisions on what to do with the pitch, because the more of these rafters or poles that you put on, the more that you have on, the larger that circle gets. So you have to make some decisions on how big you want that. I planned for a 2-foot opening on the octagon shape here. But on this one here, we'll probably go with something similar, 2-foot opening, or we may go with this design, which is still going to be 2 feet. And if I design this out right, we should be able to get all 12 of them to fit on the same way this does. It's just we're going to have more of these coming out. There'll be one each one of the additional spots. Over here is this whole idea of degrees and pitches. If I wanted a 6/12 pitch, which is a more common pitch that I recognize as a framer, you have that in degrees also, 26.57, which is another important thing because that's going to relate to how we do the poles. So, for instance, this is a side view of our doohickey.
Octagon.
Of the octagon or whatever, a compression ring. Thanks. Of the compression ring, and then this is just one of the rafters that goes up and attaches to it. There will be a notch placed in either the top or the bottom as a bird's mouth, but I think the top is a better spot for the next one that comes in that'll come in and rest on this also.
Okay, so Dad, Steve Consell also says, so the weight pushing down doesn't try to push the walls out on the top plate?
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. It's
It
all...
becomes
And
even.
why?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Well, it has to do, let's go back over here, to the
Has to
equal
do with
pressures.
gravity.
Woo!
A plus.
Yeah. You know,
Sorry.
for the
Go
school
ahead.
lesson today. Okay, I hope you have your thinking caps on because we're doing this. Pressure on each one of these points is equal. So gravity is pulling the same down on this one as it would be pulling on this one, which is pulling on this one, this one, this one, and this one. But it's also holding up that one, holding up that one, holding it. It holds up and pulls down in the same way. So one's pushing up, one's pulling down. So it's doing this. If you transfer that all the way around, what happened?
They couldn't see you.
Why?
I got
Okay.
it.
Oh, sorry. If you have one's pushing up and one's pulling down at the same time, it's like this wedge idea. So you have something wedged in there. It's not going to go anywhere because it's wedged at this shape, at this pitch. And then you do this times however many you have around in a circle, that won't expand. Pretty soon it stops
Yeah,
expanding.
it does. It does in the beginning,
shrink
and
a little bit.
it does a little, and we thought it was going to expand a whole lot more than it did. And we ran a cable all the way around it, and it was just, it was unnecessary. I think probably just for the peace of mind, we may end up doing something again, just because
Yeah,
it's
we'll
hard to
freak
get
out.
over the fact that
Just
it's not going to
leave
do it. But I don't think it would.
No.
Once it settles and locks in, it physically can't go down anymore.
No.
So.
It's another compression ring that happens at the walls too. So you're seeing. Hello.
We're good. Okay.
Oh, we're having fun there now,
Go
aren't
ahead.
we?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
At the circle, you're also seeing a compression ring there too. It's also a circle that those set on. So, all right, one more quickie. If you're doing poles, kind of how we got. Doing good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing poles, which you'll see on the internet a lot, you'll see a lot of different poles. There's something called the rummy. Now, that means that you drink more rum while you're putting it up. It actually comes together
Isn't that a
better.
card game?
That's a cummy rummy.
We
So,
sing that
yeah.
song. Alcohol. Sorry,
Anyway,
go ahead.
so it's a card game. No, actually, what the rummy is a term that's used to build a triangle. And here's how it works. This is the pin that goes into this pole. So if we have two of these, we're going to take two sticks, and we see that there's this, right? And then if we take this and we straighten it out on these nice, beautiful sticks that we have here.
Oh yeah, very straight.
If this is pinned into here, and this is pinned into the next one, okay? That's what this is. This is pinned into the next one. This is pinned into this one, and then there'll be another one later that comes on top of this one. If we just take the two pins that are closest to each other, as they would be in a horizontal plane, thank you, and then we draw this triangle from this distance from here to here, and the width of this determines the height of the triangle. Here, it gives us an alpha. It gives us an unknown. It's a degree. It's an angle. So in this case, you have to kind of do pitch and angle at the same time. So if you have for instance, if you have a 6/12 pitch, you have about a 26.5 degree angle. Now you can always go online and get one of the calculators to figure that out. Okay, wow, that was a science lesson. Way too much for me.
Yeah, and this actually makes a lot of sense when you think about the compression ring, which doesn't exist in the log, right? They don't use the ring in the center.
No, it builds its own.
But it makes sense. Like, let's say that you wanted your compression ring to set level on there, which you typically would, and that's why this is the distance here, at what this is, right? Because then that makes them set all even, so they're all sitting at
the same
exact level
as
they go around.
Yep, and the same distance. This is the same distance. And remember that a circle is a series of lines, and as you make your connections the same all the way around, it just creates a nice little circle. Like I say, 13 is about average. There are some mathematics that you can use if you want to determine your pitch and your rummy and all the rest of that stuff online too, so you guys can look that up too.
So my question is,
yes.
Why is it 13? It's an odd number.
The more you put on it, the bigger the circle gets. So if, let's say you had 20, you keep adding those on, all of a sudden your circle's this big.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's using a pull method. But if you use about 13, that gives you a pretty average 3 meter.
So it wouldn't
pull.
have to be an even number like when you're building most other roofs.
No.
So it doesn't matter the number. Then.
Yeah.
It just.
And I cheat the system by building my own compression ring because I use these here, which is upside down. But anyway, let's do it this way. We can cheat the system by using flat material as opposed to poles and just attaching it to a compression ring.
And this really, I think, this system makes the build process really easy because it's something to, when you're building it, something else to hold the rafter in place.
Yeah.
If you were trying to build the pole one, it's kind of hard to make sure that they, to get them all in place. And then once they're in place, they're good. But to get them there, I think it's probably a bit of a trick.
Mm-hmm.
We found that when we were building our little test one, and we didn't have the compression ring in the center.
Anyway, this seems to work out pretty good. There is the pull method, and that's the most commonly used when you're out and away and you have poles and stuff. I love to work with flat material because I can math that out. It's just a series of squares and triangles for me.
Well, this would make sense too. If you're building a cabin,
Yeah.
and you had a lot of just little trees, you could build yourself a little.
Some
roof
of
out.
you have seen our cabin
Yeah,
idea.
someone asked about the roof for the cabin.
This would be a good one. I have a
We'll try
lot.
to
There's a
find it.
lot on the property. There's a lot of great oak. It's just kind of a scrub oak. Scrub oak poles that are really straight that we could easily probably do this with, and that might be fun. I would think would like to do it.
Yeah, for a domed roof, returning.
What about with snow and stuff? How would that
Yeah,
handle
someone's
that?
just asking that.
Do we need to make it? Oh,
Someone's asking that same question. What
Well,
about snow?
the compression ring works as good as any circle works. Remember, because the pressure is equal on all parts of a compression ring. So as long as it's secure in each one of these places that we have on our circle, if it's on the top of it, it's all secure. It's not going anywhere. I mean, they build these things anywhere in the world. So I wouldn't worry about now. I put a caveat in there is that anywhere in the world doesn't mean we go to Antarctica and try to build one. But I mean is that the snow that we would typically see in the United States in the lower levels that we have, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate, but just the amount of snow, you want to keep that off your roof anyway,
Yeah, I mean, if you were in a place with heavy snowfall, I would definitely say, make it a little, give it a little more pitch.
Overbuild it a little bit.
Overbuild it. It's better overbuilt than you having,
Use larger
that's-
poles, for instance. Maybe we'll use an 8-inch pole up there as opposed to maybe a 4-inch.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely strong, but you
Yeah.
have to engineer.
Yep.
So are we gonna build something here now of these roofs?
Yeah, we're gonna build something.
Yeah, I'm all excited about this project.
Now, this is the Garen, our professional. He helped us so
Professional.
all
much
of our
with this last
straight,
Professional
very,
roof
very straight
building.
sticks
Yes.
here.
I spent all day carving these out, so
It looks like it.
okay.
Looks like it.
It looks like.
Okay.
So
I think I
dry.
got this. This is not an exact science when you're building with.
But where's the tape measure?
little skate sticks.
Where's the ruler?
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go like this. Let's see. Let's go here.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was wrong, but
But wait, doesn't there have to be a pitch? Did we go?
Yeah.
This is determining
This
the
is-
pitch.
Oh, okay. I missed
I'm gonna
the
build it flat
lesson.
and then we'll pick it
Oh,
up.
okay.
Me and
And then I'll fix it when it breaks. Let's see. Is that right? No. It goes there.
No, it has to go back up. I don't know
No,
the
'cause
way you're doing it.
These don't go in the same spot. So this one goes here. Let me build it. Let me do a dry run before I glue this thing together. I gotta make sure I know what I'm doing here.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So I
it.
run.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
These things
That's
are
it.
always.
And then that one goes underneath it.
They're
Okay.
We got this.
We got this. We're on top of this. We are so on top of this.
Let's bring next.
Garen, that glue gun looks so small for your hands.
Well, you have one in your room, but we didn't.
It's the same
We didn't
size.
run over there and grab it.
It's the
So.
same size.
Grateful 8 was saying that they were hoping for a model.
Yeah. Well,
Well, good.
you know, this is.
I go
You've
up to
seen
see-
our show, so you know how we use these little whatever was handy.
Oh,
Whoa.
looks like the table's getting a little of this
Well,
experiment
this one's table's used.
It's
for
a work
this.
table.
Good thing about hot glue
That's-
is you can just peel it
That's
off.
right, right?
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
that's right. I think
Sure.
I think that it's gonna turn out.
So your idea is to build this on the ground like this and
Well,
then throw it
and
in.
I
put it
found
on there?
earlier today when I was trying to build this up in the air, that
Earlier today, when you were building it up in the air.
well,
we
Up
hadn't
on
when I
tested
was
this
building
idea.
it,
We were beta testing.
I was trying to build it on there,
Oh.
and it was just falling apart all over the place.
Okay.
Oh.
So it looks like a mess now.
But you just wait.
Just watch.
But
Watch
At least
this
it doesn't
magic
weigh like
happen.
Amazing.
At least it doesn't weigh like 200 pounds or something like that.
I thought,
Trying
Garen,
to,
that you were alluding to the fact that you just popped the reciprocal roof up this
Oh
morning.
yeah. No.
And
Yeah.
as you were trying to get it up in the air.
Okay. So.
Oh, look at that! Boom!
Oh.
Oh yeah!
Okay.
Canned applause.
Is there any glue coming out?
No,
No.
you gotta push on the
We
glue
need a
thing.
soundboard.
Whoa!
so we
Hey,
can
there's some
press
glue.
on.
Okay.
Sense.
Now you have it all secure.
So
Oh,
yeah,
like
and
clapping.
typically it wouldn't be built on the ground.
No.
But
No. Although we did
Unless
do
you
a
have
dry
a
run of it
crane
on
to
the
lift
ground.
it up and put it on your roof,
We
maybe.
need somebody to
Oh,
blow.
wait. Should it dry first?
No,
Oh.
man.
yeah, it should
Nope.
have dried first, but we're
Nope.
gonna ignore the drying for right now. Okay. Okay. It's all good.
We're good. It's
Okay.
cool. We're good.
It's holding itself together pretty well, even with the hot glue.
I know, but I'm failing here.
I'll hold on. I'll hold two.
Yeah, hold on. Let's you know what? Let me do this too.
You got this,
Oh.
Garen.
Oh.
You got this.
So
going
on that
on?
note, Stephen Council, I hope I am saying your last name up so right. Okay, your cross braces would be like little mini compression rings going down to the top plate, making everything even more strong.
Correct. There's all the infill that has to go in. There's purlins, and then there's jack rafters and other things that kind of attach to it. So it definitely would require, a little. The infill actually helps to support it too in
Well,
the same way.
That's not perfect, but
Yeah.
it's not bad.
Do you want to?
general
And
idea.
you get the idea where now you can it's not super secured
Because it sticks
at these
and-
points
and
because
glue,
it's hot
but
glue, but it's got
more glue
I
is
mean-
good, says Greg.
Yeah,
That's
that's an
some
amazing
good
amount of
force.
pressure just on little sticks.
yeah for just that.
So-
It's,
And can I twist it this way to kind of get an idea of?
yeah, it's
Oh.
good on the table. Did you break my roof?
Oh,
We need
gosh.
duct tape.
You
Where's the
broke
duct
my-
tape?
Where's it?
Want a stapler?
Quick, more glue!
Okay.
It's okay.
Hey, you know what? We should have done that out of metal and watched it just weld it together.
That would have been hilarious.
That's your medium.
Yeah, no, this hot glue stuff is.
You know what? For building these things, we need to have a hot glue gun up there on the roof. What do you think, huh?
Um,
Top
Like a
and
big
then-
hot glue guns?
Yeah. You do that? That'd be amazing.
Returning Shadow says, do you know someone with a crane that would allow you to build it on the ground and then place it on top? Could you do that?
Yeah, you could.
It would be kind of hard though,
If you
because
tried
if you
ropes
saw
to
how I
each one
picked
of
these
these,
up,
Yeah.
the issue becomes is that if the pressure works correctly if you're pressing down on it,
You
straight
built it
down.
upside down and then
But if
flipped
you're
it
pushing, if you're pulling up on the top of it,
Uh-huh.
it all falls apart.
Returning Shadow, if we just used a glue gun.
It would. Yeah, have you
I like
seen
the
that big
idea.
one that Adam Savage has? It's like huge.
Oh yeah, boy,
You need
that's
two hands to wield it.
Yeah.
That would work fantastic.
that's a
Make
glue
it
gun.
hot.
Or we could just use duct tape. Like it's just a thing.
There you go.
There
Look
it
at that.
is.
Can you
Garen,
do it
it's
top
not
down?
quite perfectly circled.
Honey?
I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
yeah.
It's cool.
Other
No
one.
one. No one.
Oh, am I going the wrong way? Oh, there we go.
There it is. See.
So they all just stack on top
Now
of each
Garen's
other.
moving into this one pretty soon, so we could do
Yeah,
it
but,
for.
you know, the
It does have
pressure is
quite a bit
just-
of.
Dan
It's-
Bamford says that looks like
Oh,
a plastic
broke it.
twig teepee.
It is. That's what a TP is. A TP really is a reciprocal roof, if you think about it. It's all
is.
tied together at the top in a
So
compression ring.
true.
It's a reciprocal roof. It all.
It's a reciprocal teepee.
Yes.
It's an RT. but not a retweet. Okay, we're going to.
Are we tweeting now?
We're not. Well, sorry, I
Wow.
was trying to correlate it.
It was
worked.
good. So.
When you write with a bird, it's called tweeting.
We want
Yes.
someone to stand at the peak. Returning shadow wants someone to stand on that.
Bryson?
Bryson.
We need Diesel to stand on the peak.
Got it here, Dad. Put your foot.
Oh, perfect! Okay.
I'm putting my foot down.
Any more questions you guys have about reciprocal roofs? I'm sorry the math was a little mathy, and I probably some of you have headaches now, but just take some aspirin. You'll feel
I
better
do.
later.
I have a headache.
Do you?
Just you talking gives me a headache.
The respect I get around here. I know you love me. Please send your love. Because
I don't get a headache. I just get nap time. So.
whoa, Dad's talking.
I'm just kidding. The
Alright.
birds. It doesn't.
Power nap.
No.
All right. Well, we just want to entertain some more questions. Who's got questions?
Anything now, if anybody wants to send a question.
I don't know. We had a wonderful
Yeah.
discussion about the rum is gone. Where's the rum?
Oh, yes.
We were quoting Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, we didn't get
That was
to
a
that,
lovely
did we?
conversation.
I'm excited for the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie. That looks so cool.
Grateful 8 asks, is that Shay's mock-up?
No.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's her room, too.
Well, no,
We
this
decided the scale would be nice to build.
we
There
decided
you
to
go.
go.
We're done with the room.
We're
there
down.
you go.
We're downsizing a little.
Hey, Shay, we finished!
So let's go give it to her. I'm looking to do something a little different on hers. Hers might have 12 sides as opposed to the 8 that we see.
Same idea, just more rafters.
Yeah, and we're not doing it out of logs. We'll be doing it out of regular dimensional
We'll
lumber.
be doing it out of a
Just like-
stretched bag.
Yes, we'll get the board stretcher out and stretch some boards too.
I wonder if we could stretch
wait,
if we
we
stretch
need
bags,
bags.
we could make them go for longer. You know, just to get a little more. No.
No.
Sorry.
We should make
That's
a
good
roof
thinking, Bree.
that we take the
Trying to
bag
save some
material.
money here.
We should make a roof that you take the material and you braid it as you bag it, so that you create
Braiding. What kind of
like as you go
structural
over, you braid
integrity
it.
that would? Kristen, what'd you have?
Maybe
You have
3 of 'em?
14 rows. Are you gonna braid 14 rows into a big rope?
Yeah. It's
How would you
some
tamp
sort of
that?
braiding.
Yeah.
Sounds like
So
a lot of work.
Spencer Dawson Vlogs asks, "What is your next project?"
Okay,
and,
Shay's room.
and we're actually gonna have our next weekly peek, which is coming out Friday,
Yes,
is
it
going to be on the beginning stages of her room, the design and everything.
Started
Really
layout.
excited.
Yeah,
So
layout,
that's coming out
location.
Friday for another weekly peek.
So that's coming up.
I'll be sound
Yes,
effects
y'all.
for you guys.
Thanks.
Do we have time to take one more question?
Yeah,
Should
what do
we?
you got?
Okay. Returning Shadow asks, "Will Shay's building have a rocket stove or something different?"
You know, Jill and I were talking about that today. We're not really sure about her room. It's not as big as what we've been building. So I don't know if we'll go with that or we'll give her a hot plate and just let her warm up. I don't know.
I was
It's
actually
just,
thinking we could pour rocket fuel in it and actually build a system where her whole room can lift off the ground and go into space.
Yeah, I like it. Okay.
All
So,
the bags. Can you imagine that weight going into the air?
I have planned a space for it, but I think we'll wait until there's. You know, we've
Kinda
kind
up
of
in the
experiment with the pellet idea too, and some other things. So it's still up in the air on that for hers, because I know Bree doesn't have one in her room, and she does just fine with a little space heater because they conserve heat so well.
She has
I have a wood stove, but it
just a
takes
wood
so
stove. Just-
much wood. I wish it was. But and then maybe that's for a later project. We can
Yeah.
do a little wood
I've got
stove.
a genius idea.
No.
What's your
We could
genius
build a
idea?
reciprocal roof on top of this one that we make reflective so it collects the sun and the whole disc can move and it beams it down into the center of her room and heats her center of
Heats?
her
How about
room.
melts?
What happens if the
How about
sun
melts
moves?
the center of her room?
Well,
Okay,
the whole disc
right
can
on
rotate.
down to the
So
magma
it
where we
just-
have
it follows
lava coming up out of
It
the middle.
follows it, you know?
I like that. I like
Okay.
that. There's a
Hey,
So
big-
you just point it on her when she's sleeping.
What?
Dan believes we can get the room done in 4 months. I like
Thanks,
the way he
Dan.
thinks.
Thank you, Dan. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Dan.
the faith
4
in us.
months.
It truly.
Compared to the
man.
1 year it took us to get the Muzart studio.
Well,
The
That
Mozart
was
studio
huge.
was huge.
It was like that
That's
was
true,
like
it
two
is 2
rooms or
rooms.
3
It was
rooms put
huge.
together.
almost
Yeah.
2 rooms.
And some new tech. We hadn't done some of the
Selling Farm wants to know about plumbing and toilets.
Yes, there are such things as plumbings and toilets,
are
and they
correct.
belong in bathrooms, not bedrooms.
That's true.
So yeah, we have a central bathroom. It's an outhouse the kids use.
Yeah.
They both,
Both?
Yeah.
Where'd you lose to?
Gosh.
I was going with something else. I don't think I'll go down that line. But anyway, it's an outhouse. And then they don't shower. They roll around in the dust and dirt. They look great. Look at her. She just had her dirt bath today.
No, we do. We
Get
don't
your
put
dirt
any-
bath.
Maybe
Like a
we'll,
chicken.
we'll approach that project in maybe
Well,
another
we have a bathroom
we
in
could
the
do
main
it,
house.
but we just it's just not
Bathroom
on
in
the.
the
No, if you have to go to the
radar piece.
bathroom, you walk.
But it could be done. I mean, plumbing.
Yeah.
If we wanted
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
that, we
yeah.
could.
Yeah,
do
we
that.
just we've not had any use to do it.
And
Yeah,
there's no
for these.
difference. You would plumb it the same way you'd plumb a home anywhere. So
Underground.
yeah,
Wait.
you run it in. It runs into a cabinet and a sink and a toilet that flushes and the water leaves the same way. You know,
Okay,
in a septic tank.
I'm so
Back to that topic
I'm
again
so
today,
glad.
aren't we?
Yes,
That's
I
been
know,
a
I
topic.
went 4
Oh,
years.
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
And remember, these structures are small. These structures are small. They're just designed for bedrooms and
Sleep.
like sleep and sleep. So.
All right.
Right.
So we are going to be. We should. No, we have got a. Everyone here has a channel along
Yes.
with Shay, who has not joined us this time. But everyone has a channel to be down in the description. Mr. Off and On. He does special builds and car fixing videos and those kind of fun stuff. Bryson does 3D printing and stuff that's a little more down the science and stuff like that. And then we all have a channel that is we are working on an animation musical. So we're writing and putting that together. We've got some weekly update videos that we do try to get out every week to talk about that. And then Shay, she does skits and cosplay stuff on her channel as well.
Music.
So if you'd like to check out those links, they'll be down in the description below to our channels if you'd like to check those out.
And then we have our Patreon. We've done a little bit of updating on it, so pretty excited about it. We've made some goal adjustments, so we're hoping to make something accomplish, something here soon. So if you'd like to, patreon.com, feel free to do what you can do, $2 or whatever. It all helps out. So we sure appreciate everybody who has participated in the Patreon accounts. It does support us, and we're very, very much grateful for that. So.
All right, so we hope to see you on Friday at 6 p.m.
Yes, Pacific.
Pacific. I always say Eastern. I don't know what my problem
On the
is.
YouTube channel.
I have a hard time saying
Pacific.
Pacific.
Pacific. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Pacific time for our weekly peek,
Yep.
and we'll be back the next week
Yes.
for another Wednesday My Little Podcast. Thank you so much for
Don't
joining
miss
us,
us.
and we'll see you soon. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.